My now partner and I saved up and bought another car, very similar to what my partner had at the time, just a different colour and a different model. My partner's car needed some work done to it, but the newly purchased car was in top shape, so I would be driving the other car around. My partner had the red Ford XR6 and the other car was a white Ford Futura. He called his car Big Red and we called the other car Great White. We had them both parked in the grass area next to the units. One day, it was a Saturday, and my partner was obviously not working. It was a nice spring day outside, and he decided to go out to Big Red and have a look over what needed to be done with the car and to have it fixed. As he is mechanically minded and loves cars, he lifted the bonnet and stared at the motor and sighed. Yes, cars can be annoying to fix, the amount of money it costs to get it fixed. But then, that all depends on what you're fixing. Some things are cheap to fix, other things not so much. My partner decided to start the car, and he looked at the fuel gauge. It was empty. He swore there was a third of a tank left in it. The car hadn't been driven for about a week, so the fuel couldn't have evaporated in the tank. He popped the fuel hatch and went to inspect it, when it looked like it had been tampered with. Did someone really bust open the fuel hatch and siphon the fuel out? Quite possible though, being in the area that we lived in. Where we lived, there was a lot of rough people around. My partner came into the house and told me what he had just found out. I was a bit shocked, yet not surprised. The car had been sitting there for a bit, so it would have been an easy target. My partner gave up on looking at Big Red for the moment and came back inside with disgust. A few nights later, we heard a knock at the door. I answered the door, and it was our neighbour from Unit 3. She had informed us that she had just seen someone lurking around the cars, but when she went outside to have a cigarette, they ran off. We told her that someone siphoned fuel out of Big Red. The neighbour was shocked. Her car was parked next to our cars too, so her car could be a target as well. The neighbour decided to leave her front light on to try and stop people from coming into the premises. But unfortunately, the next day, the neighbour's car was targeted. She only had a quarter of a tank of fuel in the car, and it was gone. Her car was empty. She had no money to get more fuel until her dole payment came in. My partner lent her $20 for her to go get some fuel. I decided to check Great White, but it wasn't touched. I didn't have much fuel in it anyway, and luckily my partner's work vehicle was a newer sort of van that had an anti-theft device on it. Plus, it was diesel anyway. Our neighbour and my partner reported both incidents to the police. They told them that they would patrol the area, even though the police station was only just across the street. It was a joke really. Fortunately though, it didn't happen again while we lived at those units.